building your dream, or are you building excuses? Because you can't do both. Excuses build walls. Execution builds empires. The question is, are you staying stuck, or are you rising? Excuses build walls. Execution builds empires. That simple truth is the dividing line between those who stay stuck and those who rise to greatness. Every person alive has dreams, goals, and visions of a better life. But not everyone reaches them. Why? Because most people build walls made of excuses. They say, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the energy. I don't have the right connections. I'll do it tomorrow. Those excuses may sound reasonable, but in reality, they are chains that keep you locked in place. They build an invisible prison where your potential dies quietly, day by day. On the other hand, execution, the decision to act, to do, to move forward despite fear or imperfection, creates momentum. It tears down the walls of limitation and replaces them with bridges that lead to growth, opportunity, and freedom. And the difference between excuses and execution comes down to one thing: mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It determines how you interpret challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. With an excuse-driven mindset, every obstacle looks like a dead end. If you fail once, you say, "See, I knew I couldn't do it." If someone else succeeds, you say, "They got lucky," or "They had advantages I don't have." This mindset feeds your fear, protects your comfort zone, and convinces you that inaction is the safer choice. But with an execution-driven mindset, everything changes. Failure is not proof of weakness. It's evidence of effort. Setbacks are not reasons to stop. They are lessons to refine your approach. Success in others is not a threat. It is proof that greatness is possible and that you, too, can reach it. When you shift your mindset from excuses to execution, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and realize that action itself creates the perfect moment. Think about it. History is not built by people who had excuses. It is built by people who had execution. The world does not remember the ones who sat back and complained. It remembers those who showed up, who pushed forward, who acted despite fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Every great invention, every movement, every empire was built by people who refused to let excuses define them. They didn't wait until they had enough money, enough knowledge, or enough confidence. They started with what they had, where they were, and improved along the way. That's the mindset shift you must embrace. Stop saying, "I'll do it when I'm ready." The truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. You'll always have doubts. But execution is what transforms doubt into belief. Excuses give you short-term comfort, but long-term regret. Execution gives you short-term discomfort, but long-term success. When you look back on your life years from now, what will weigh heavier on you? The mistakes you made while trying, or the opportunities you never took because you were too afraid to start? Regret is a far heavier burden than failure. You can learn from failure, but you cannot escape regret. That's why execution matters so much. Action leads to clarity, to growth, to transformation. Even if you fail, you will be further ahead than if you had done nothing at all. Shifting your mindset is not easy. It requires brutal honesty with yourself. You have to admit when you are making excuses. You have to stop blaming circumstances. Stop pointing fingers. Stop waiting for luck. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. The life you want will not magically appear. It will only be built by your actions. Once you accept that, excuses lose their power. You stop saying, "I can't," and start asking, "How can I?" That single question flips your perspective from being trapped to being resourceful. And resourcefulness is far more powerful than resources. Think of your life as a foundation waiting to be built upon. Excuses leave it empty and abandoned, while execution builds brick by brick, day by day. At first, your progress may be small, almost invisible. But over time, as you keep showing up, those bricks stack higher and higher, until what once looked impossible becomes undeniable. That is how empires are built, not by talking about what could be done, but by doing what must be done. The greatest shift you will ever make is not external, it's internal. Once you change your mindset, your actions change. And once your actions change, your results change. When you go from excuses to execution, you stop seeing problems as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow stronger. You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the power to act. You stop doubting whether you can and start proving to yourself that you already are. That's the essence of self-improvement. Not just dreaming of a better version of yourself, but acting into that version one disciplined step at a time. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't have time," remind yourself that you are choosing distraction over discipline. When you say, "I don't know how," remind yourself that execution will teach you more than excuses ever will. When you say, "It's too late," remind yourself that time will pass anyway, so you might as well use it to build instead of waste it. Every time you silence an excuse and choose execution, you are training your mind to break free from the prison of fear and step into the freedom of possibility. At the end of the day, you only have two choices. Stay stuck behind the walls you've built with excuses, or rise above them and build something greater with execution. Your mindset decides which path you take. Excuses are easy. Execution is hard. But execution is the only path that leads to the life you dream of. So shift your mindset. Trade excuses for action. Because excuses build walls. But execution builds empires.